So, welcome to Ask Dr. Neha. We're here in San Francisco today, and we're with Rachel. And I want to say thank you for being such a brave soul that you would risk and ask your questions so that not just you, but other people can learn.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah. So, did you get a chance to think about a question that you had around communication or something you're struggling with?
Yeah, I have been thinking a lot about how I commit to people, how I commit to my friends and my family, and the impact that my flakiness has on relationships.
The impact your flakiness has. So most
Yeah.
people come in and they blame other people. You come in and you just self-proclaimed, I'm a
Yeah.
flake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So even when you said that, you rolled your eyes, you looked up, like what happened in your body when you said that?
Oh, God, like a little constricted in my
Mm,
chest.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I see a little redness here. Do you feel it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it has this physiological response inside you,
Yeah.
just kind of owning it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
tell me how it shows up with your friends and with your family.
Well, I notice I'll make plans with people and then I call it off or I just don't show up at the last minute,
Mm,
and that leaves me feeling really guilty and
mm.
kind of like lost in my relationships and
Yeah.
not really sure where I stand with people or if I should be, like avoiding them for the next time or
Yeah.
yeah.
It's going to have you not want to make plans with them again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how
Mhm.
does it play out with your family?
So in terms of where my flakiness shows up in my family is during holiday vacations
Yeah.
and my dad will invite me to the beach at the end of every summer and I consistently say no, I don't know if I'll make it, maybe, but don't count on me, like leaving the options open for another experience to unfold. But I always end up going and having a great time, so I definitely have a reputation in my family of being like the inconsistent one, the
Yeah.
flaky one.
Well, I got to say, first off, you own it, which is, it's brilliant because most people don't.
Mm.
And so I guess what I would ask you is when in your life um, have you wanted someone to be consistent in your life that didn't show up?
Yeah. My mom, definitely. Like, she left our family when I was 8. She and my dad got a divorce and she moved out. And she was not available emotionally or physically for a long time, even though she lived really close.
Mm.
And even to this day, I'll make plans with her when I'm back home and she just doesn't show up or she doesn't let me know to the last minute that she's not going to be there. And I usually don't get a reason from her. It's just like a no-show. And so it leaves me feeling really disappointed and kind of like resentful of that
Mm.
relationship.
And so your relationship with her starts drifting a little farther apart.
Yeah, because she's not someone I can depend on for consistency
Yeah.
and just to show up. I mean, I think if she told me that she wasn't going to show up, that would be different.
So you'd actually want to hear no from her.
Yeah,
If you, at least you'd know where you stood.
right.
Okay.
Mhm.
So that disappointment that you just described, can you imagine that your friends or your dad or whomever you're doing this with,
Mhm.
because it's a similar pattern.
Mhm.
You see how you do this dance and
Mhm.
sometimes you show up and sometimes you don't?
Yeah.
Can you see that they might be feeling the disappointment that you feel when you want to spend time with your mom?
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely imagine that. I mean, it's a strange situation when the moment comes to actually show up. Like we've made the plans a week in advance with friends and then I get this like itchy, squirrely feeling and I just am like, "Oh, they don't really want to see they don't want to see me or it won't really matter if I'm not there."
Yeah.
And I sort of start like making it about them not wanting me.
You.
Yeah.
So this is an old thing for you
Mhm.
because could you see how a little 8-year-old girl may have felt that way?
Yeah.
That somehow this was about me.
Yeah.
And so now that 8-year-old girl has grown up into a beautiful woman who still keeps running that pattern and making it true.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see it, right?
Yeah, I do see that.
And so the interesting thing that you've said is what you wish is that your mom would just say no if it wasn't, if she couldn't meet
Yeah.
you, right?
Yeah.
And do you have a little bit more grace for her now,
Yeah.
this experience,
I would. Yeah.
right? And
Mhm.
even now, right? Understanding that for whatever reason, it's been hard for her,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And so now, let's say you're going on this trip
Mhm.
with your dad,
Yeah.
right? You said you're going to the beach or you're going with the family. What's something that's going to come up where you're going to try and get out of it?
He's gonna want to go on a bike ride in the morning, and I'm gonna say yes, and then I'll be resentful when we actually do go.
Like how early?
Like 8, 7, you know, at a
7, 8 in the
beautiful
morning.
time in the morning,
Yeah.
early.
And you're
Yeah.
not a morning person.
Not, yeah, not like
Okay.
not for that. No.
And have you done this with him like the last summers that you've gone?
I
Do you, like,
have, and I've always felt kind of resentful
so you'll
about
say
it.
yes to him,
Yeah.
and then the morning will come, and then what will you say?
And then I'll either go or I'll say like, "Oh, I'm, too tired. I'll just stay in bed." So I flake.
Okay, and then he feels the disappointment that you
Yeah.
feel, right?
Mhm.
Okay. How about if can we do a little role play?
Yeah.
Yeah? Will
Yeah.
you be your dad and I'll be you?
Yeah.
Okay, you do
Okay.
it.
Okay. Rachel, would you like to come on a bike ride with me tomorrow morning?
So, yes to part of that.
Mhm.
But Dad, can I just talk to you for a minute?
Mhm.
Yeah? You have a
Mhm.
couple minutes?
Yeah.
So, you know how I went away this summer?
Yeah.
I really thought about this trip
Yeah.
that we were having. And I knew you were going to ask me to go on a bike ride.
Mhm.
And I realized that I love biking and I love being with you.
Mhm.
What I don't like is the 7 or 8 a.m. thing.
Yeah.
But in the past, I've kept stringing you along until the end. Like, yeah, maybe I'll see how I feel in the morning.
Mhm.
And then in the morning, I'm mad at you for waking me up.
Yeah.
And so, first, I want to say I'm really sorry because that probably is really disappointing to you.
Mhm.
And I really do want to spend time with you. And I'm wondering if we could do it like an evening, like a 5 o'clock ride, a 4 o'clock ride. Would that work for you?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm in.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So tell me your takeaways. Was this helpful? Do you think that's something you could say to him and just kind of own that maybe you've created some disappointment and then do it differently and create what you want?
Yeah. 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 I think definitely a big takeaway would be being like really clear in what I do want and saying that with grace and not worry about disappointing someone because like you said, just down the line, flaking out is going to cause a lot more hurt and distance.
Yeah.
And also being really aware of repeating patterns from my past and like
Yep.
owning owning the patterns I've caused and
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I want to hear how it goes.
Okay.
You
I'll
keep
tell
me
you.
posted?
Yeah, I will.
Okay. Thanks, Rachel.
Thank you, Neha.
Yeah, it's great. So this has been Ask Dr. Neha. Would love to hear from you. So keep on sending in the questions and I'll keep answering them.